till now, like we have committed our code in the main branch, or we call it as an master branch. So where we are committing our code, so the committing is happening in the main or master branch. Okay, but in a real time we should not commit our new changes in like main branch or the master branch. Okay, so this is going to act as the like a trunk of the tree. Okay, so this is kind of an trunk. So like basically the main branch or master branch is acting as a trunk, and whenever like you are planning to work on the automation, so we may working as a team. Let's say in our team, like we are having the 5 QA members, and each and every one are working on 5 different user story. Okay, so for each and every user story, for sure they are going to like do the automation work. And how they are going to do the automation work, so what they used to do, so they will access this trunk. Okay, so they will access this trunk branch, and inside the trunk branch they will create their own branches. Okay, so how the tree has is the multiple branches, so likewise each and every one will create their own branch, and they will be creating, I will be doing the automation in their own branch. So what is the first step is like we should create, okay, our own branch. Okay, and then we should work coding only in our own branch. So whatever the new coding, okay, you are doing, so the new coding will be available only in your branch. And post completing the coding, so what we are going to do, okay, we are going to submit our code for review and approval process. Okay, so we need to follow the review and approval process. And how we are going to do this review and approval process in the sense, like we need to create the PR. So PR is nothing but we call them as an, okay, pull request. Okay, we need to create the pull request. So once we create the pull request, so the code will be reviewed, and they will be verifying all the standards and all the logic, and even like we there should not be any comments line, and we should not have any sysout statements. So they will be verifying each and everything, and one and only if they are okay with your coding, so then they will merge the code. Okay, so merge the code with the master branch. Okay, master branch or main branch, or we call it as a trunk. So they will merge with the trunk. So why they are not directly merging with the trunk? So the reason is like because if your code has some issues, okay, so then what happen, it will affect the entire trunk. So generally this trunk branch will be like configured to the CI/CD server. Okay, so which is nothing but it will configure to the Jenkins. So generally on the timely basis, our automation scripts, as I told, we are automating the regression. The regression scripts will be running on the timely basis. Okay, so by the way, like we will be always ensuring the stability of an application. But if you have done the wrong commit, and if the wrong commit has impacted the entire code, so then it is going to break the life cycle of the CI/CD as well. Okay, all our automation script will fail, and we can't ensure the stability of an application. So that's the reason, like we everywhere they will follow the review and approval process. For example, now as a first step, what you have done, so you will be getting the Git link. So once you get the Git link, so you may have cloned to your system. Okay, so whenever you are cloning, by default it will be pointing only to the main branch. And as I told, like you need to create like your own sub branch. So how you can create your own sub branch, like you should like click on this drop down. Okay, so if you click on this drop down, so there is an option called as an create a new branch. So I'm just creating the new branch. So let me just give the new branch name. So let me just name the new branch name as an LMTI, and then I'm click on the create branch. Okay, so whenever like we click on the create branch, so we should publish our branch. Okay, so why we need to publish our branch? So that like other can access our branch. So in case like if you are unable to complete, so other can pull your code and they can start working on it. So now let me just log into the GitHub account. Okay, so let me just log in quickly. Okay, now let me access our branch. So what is the branch we have created? What is the repository name? Okay. So after login to the GitHub, like I have navigated to our repository. Now inside our repository, like it is by default, it will be pointing to the main branch. So that is the reason whenever you copy the Git link and whenever you clone, it is actually cloning the master branch code. And if you notice, still now we have created only one branch. If I click on this one branch, okay, so it will display the branch name as in main. So now what I have did, I have created the new branch. So whenever you are creating a new branch, you should click on the publish branch. So one and only if you click on the publish branch, so the branch will be published in the GitHub repo as well. Okay, so now if I navigate back to the GitHub and if I just do the refresh, okay, so we could be able to see like one more branch called as an LMTA. So this is my branch which I have created. And if I just navigate to the home page, okay, initially it was like only one branch, right? Now it will be showing two branches. Okay, so now, so it is pointing to the branch called as an LMTI. And if you open the IntelliJ, right, automatically, okay, it will point to the LMTI branch because we had already the sync up, right? So we have already provided the path where the code is cloned. Okay, so whatever the branch we are pointing it, automatically it will be updating in the IntelliJ as well. Okay, not only the IntelliJ, whatever the ID you are using, so it will be pointing to the respective branch. Okay, so now this is done. Now whenever I add something, okay, so the particular coding will be add only in the my own branch. So let's say here I'm planning to add a new feature file. So let the feature file name be the, okay, sample dot, okay, feature. I'm adding the sample dot feature. I'm using the keyword called as a feature, okay, to specify the purpose. And then what I'm doing, I'm just updating the like tag of the runner. Instead of this wiki 02, I'm changing as an 03. Okay, so these are the changes I have done. Okay, so or in other hand you can say like you have completed your automation scripting. So whatever the new scenario you want, you have added the new scenarios, you have added the coding, so everything is done from your side. So where you have done, you have done in your own branch. Now what you need to do, you need to check what are the coding you have done. Okay, so you are verifying all your logic. So once you are okay with the logic, you are committing to like your own branch. If you notice, it is committing to LMTI. Okay, so now this new feature file or whatever the modification I have done, so if I click on the push origin, it will be available only in the LMTI branch. Okay, so now if I switch to the master branch, okay, and if I verify the changes, so those changes won't reflect in the main branch. Okay, for example, if I just re-switching back to the main branch, okay, I'm switching back to the main branch. If you switch automatically inside the IntelliJ, so it will be switched to the main branch. And if you notice, in the main branch we are not able to see the file called as an sample.feature, and we have updated the tag, right? So still the tag is appearing as 02. So the reason is like whatever the code like you are committing, so those changes will be applicable only to your own branch. Okay, so that is the reason like we have created our own branch. Now like I'm switching back to my branch. So what is the next step I have done with the coding? I need to follow the review and approval process. I need to submit my code for the review. So what you need to do in the sense, like you could see an option called as an preview pull request. If you click on the preview pull request, it will show you like what are the modification you have done so far in your branch, whatever the new coding you have done, everything will be reflecting over there. So you are going to do the self review. Okay, you are just verifying all the standards. If you are okay with it, what is the next step? So you need to click on the button called as an create pull request on the GitHub. Okay, so if you click on the create pull request on the GitHub, it will be automatically opening in the web browser, and we need to add a title. So like let's say like as part of the respective user story, so if you have added something, you can give the description. So let's say I'm just mentioning the description, adding, okay, sample feature file. Okay, we need to provide the title, and then we need to select the reviewers. So basically the reviewers will be like your automation test lead, or like the person who does the review for your entire team, the automation spock. So you need to add them. If you click on the settings button, okay, so the name will be displaying. So as of now I haven't added any name, so you can choose the reviewer name so that the mail will be triggered to them and they will be reviewing your code. Okay, and if you scroll to the down, so whatever the commit you have done and whatever the changes you have done, all the data will be captured, and then you need to click on, okay, create pull request. Okay, so now if I click on create pull request, initially, okay, the pull request will be in open status, or like whenever you are opening to the branch, right, your own repository. So we will be having an another tab called as an pull request. So what is mean by pull request tab? So whoever has completed the automation work, so they will be raising the PR. Okay, so they will be writing the pull request. A shortcut of the pull request is PR. They will be raising the PR. As of now, we are having only one open PR, and the automation head should always review the PR. So now he will navigate to this pull request tab, and we are having the PR, and each and every PR will have the number. So now my PR number is #1. In similar way, if someone creating the new PR, so the number will be keep on adding, and it is created by so myself. So it is appearing my name called as a learn more training. Now what they used to do, they will click on this PR, okay, and they will verifying the changes you have done. So there is a tab called as a file changed. So they will be navigating to the file changed tab, and they will be reviewing the changes which you have done. Okay, so we have changed in the feature file.java, in the sample file.feature, whatever the changes you have done. So they will be verifying everything. If they are okay with the changes, okay, they will click on this review changes drop down and they will approve. Okay, so as of now, like we haven't selected any approver, so it is not, the approver button is disabled. In a real time, as you have selected the approver, it will be approved, so they will be approving it. Or else if there is any issue, okay, if there is any logic mistake, they will add a comment, and you need to address it. Okay, you need to address those comment. Okay, so now let's assume, so I'm okay with it. So the reviewer is okay with my coding, and as the next step, what the reviewer used to do, so the reviewer will add my code to the main branch. How they will be adding? If you scroll to the down, okay, so it should show the option stating that the branch has no conflicts. Okay, which means like there is no conflict files. So now you need to click on this merge pull request. If you just click on the merge pull request and click on the confirm merge, now the status will be changed to open to the merged, which means the new coding is added to the main branch. Okay, so we have added to the main branch. If you just notice, if you just navigate to the repository, okay, you could see, so some new commit has happened. So what is the new commit has happened? So we have merged the pull request from the learn more trainings. So now the new code is added to us. So now let us switch back to the main branch. Okay, and let's check whether the new code is available. So it is successfully switched to the main branch, and I'm just opening my IntelliJ. Okay, so like it's pointed to the main. but still like you could not able to see the coding, right? So as I told, like we should always do the fetch origin. So one and only if you just click on the fetch origin, right? Okay, so the new changes will be reflected in your system. So now in this case, like if after doing the fetch origin, like it will be get refreshed and it will be adding the new code in my local. So by this way, like we are able to see the code as well. So after doing the fetch origin, it says pull origin, which means some new code is available. I am pulling the new code to my local. So now the new changes will be added to my local as well. Okay, so now after a successful pull, so the new file called as the sample.feature file is added to our file. So in our team, like whoever has completed the automation scripting first, so their code will be merged in the main branch. So which means like in the main branch, so the new coding will be keep on adding. So after review and approval, so the new changes will be keep on adding. Now assume that there is some change in the main branch. Okay, so now in the main branch, I'm deleting the file called as an sample.feature. Okay, and I'm committing the changes to the main branch. So let's say like I'm just adding the commit and I'm just clicking on the commit to the main branch. So now there is some changes in the main branch, which means like either the new code has been added in the main branch or the new code has been deleted in the main branch. So anything can happen. But you may have work in the branch, right? You will be working in your own branch. So as an automation test engineer, your role is like on regular basis, either on the daily basis, like you need to sync up your branch with the main branch. So why we need to sync up? Because if any new code is available in the main branch, we need to add those new code in your branch so that like we can avoid the conflict. So now there is a new change, right? So some file has been deleted in the main branch. Then what we need to do? How we are going to sync up your branch with the main branch? In the sense, if you click on the drop down, okay, so there is an option called as an choose a branch to merge to LMTI. So just select this option. Okay, and then whenever there is a new files added in the main branch, it will say, okay, so there was a two merge from main to LMTI. So there are two changes in the main branch. We are adding the changes to your own branch. Okay, so always, so we need to like sync up the main branch to the our branch. Now the new code which is available in the main branch will be added to your own branch, and you need to push the origin so that like it will be added in your branch. Okay, so now we have done. So now our branches sync up with the main branch. So how we will be ensuring like whether it is sync up with the main branch or not? So we need to click on the drop down and we need to select once again, choose a branch to merge, and this time it says this branch is up to date main. So always we should up to date, we should have an up to date with the main branch, so that like all the new code which is added in the main branch will be available in your branch as well. Okay, because we should not work on the outdated branch. So whenever like we are doing the automation, right, so we should sync up with the main branch, because we are working as a team. In a team, like there are n number of QAs are working, and each and everyone are creating their own branch and doing the automation. And once they are completing the automation, they are following the review and process. And if their code merge before your code, then we should pull the new changes in your branch as well, so that like while merging, so there won't be any conflicts. Okay, so this is the actual process we follow in the real time. So like whenever we are working, so we should create our own branch and we should do the coding in our own branch, and we need to do the self review. And if you are okay with the review, then we should create a pull request, and the pull request will be reviewed by the review and approval team. And if they are okay with your coding, then they will be merge the coding with the master branch. And if there is any errors, if there is often any logic error, or if you have added incorrect naming conversion, or if there is any sysout statement, or if there is any comment lines, so if they have like many comments, then they will be adding the comments and they will be closing the PR. Okay, so whenever there is an issue, they will close the PR. Then you need to address all the comments which they have provided, and then you need to reopen the same PR and they will re-review, and only if they are okay they will be adding in the master branch. Okay, so generally, so the master branch will always have the stable code, and we should not do the direct commit in the master branch. So basically in the project you won't have the commit access to add the code in the master branch. Okay, so you will be having the commit access only to your own branch. So they will be restricting the access because like we should follow the review and approval process. So this is how like we will be like creating our own branch and committing the branch to committing the code to our own branch.